Data types and variables. Part 1. Here are the contents. What is a variable? Compilers roll with variables. Properties of variables. Identifiers and variables. Ways of storing variables. Variable types and type conversion. First, we will look at what is a variable. In computer programming, a variable is a symbolic name given to a data storage location containing some known or unknown quantity or information. A variable name in computer source code is an identifier that can be bound to a value during runtime, and the value may change during the course of program execution. Variables in programming may not directly correspond to the concept of variables in mathematics. Variables in computer programming are frequently given long names to make them relatively descriptive of their use, whereas variables in mathematics often have terse, one or two character names for brevity in transcription and manipulation. Compilers have to replace variables' symbolic names with the actual locations of the data. A variable's name, type, and location often remain fixed. The data stored in the location may be changed during program execution. Now, we will look at what are the properties of a variable. First one is lifetime. Containers for global variables are created once. Containers for local variables are created every time a procedure is invoked. The other one is identifier and value. Identifier of a global variables is an input to the global command which declares it. Identifier for local variables. Input for local variables get their initial values from actual arguments provided on procedure invocations. Identifiers and variables. An identifier referencing a variable can be used to access the variable in order to read out the value or modify the attribute of the variable. If a variable is only referenced by a single identifier, that can simply be called the name of the variable. Variables are stored in memory, but in different ways depending on how they are used. They are globally, on the heap and on the stack. When storing globally, all the part of the program can access and change the value. Access is done via pointer variables when stored on the heap. When storing on the stack, a block of memory that is used to store parameters into functions and variables that exist local functions. Variable types. Variables are defined according to the type of data. In Fortran, these 6 types of variables are used: real, double precision, integer, logical, character, and complex. In Algol 60, only 3 types of variables are used: integer, real, and boolean. Type conversion is concerned with changing an entity of one data type into another. One is implicit type conversion and the another one is explicit type conversion. Implicit type conversion is also called as automatic type conversion or automatic widening. In this type, all operands have to be of the same type and no information is lost after the conversion. It is called legal when the assignment conversion is widening, and it is illegal when the assignment conversion is narrowing. Let's consider an example for implicit type conversion for legal. Declare an integer type variable called I and assign a value as 5. Then declare double type variable called A and assign value as 10.5. Then declare another double type variable called C and assign a value as A plus I. Here I is widened to a double. It is legal. Let's consider an example for implicit type conversion for illegal. Declare an integer type variable called I and assign a value as 5. Then declare double type variable called A and assign value as 10.5. Then declare another integer type variable called C and assign a value as A plus I. Here A is narrowing to an integer. It is illegal. Explicit type conversion is also called as explicit narrowing conversion or typecasting. The conversion is defined within the program. Information will be lost in this type of conversion, and the conversion is done by the compiler. You can see when converting from a double to an integer, the fraction parts are ignored. Let's consider an example for explicit type conversion. Declare a double type variable called D and assign a value as 2.345. Then declare integer type variable called I and assign value of D as above. Here I value is equal to 3. Fraction parts are ignored by the compiler. Here some information will be lost. This is called explicit type conversion.